the running back position is interesting because I don't think we're going to get a great overall picture of that.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Ervin is going to be limited all the way through the summer coming off that hip injury. Ramir Johnson, they're going to limit him because of his shoulder injury. Dante Dowdell is kind of getting acclimated to life at Nebraska. Emmett Johnson, I think, is probably the one guy you feel good about. And we, I think he said Quentin Ives on Saturday, Robin. Was he limited with a hamstring?
Had a hamstring.
So
he's been out, Sean.
You're seeing a lot of, other players getting reps of running back that probably wouldn't be normally in the discussion.
Yeah, there's a reason Maurice Mazuka's basically become the third down back for him. He got a lot of reps in the portion we saw today.
Yep.
So, I mean, great opportunity for guys like that. But I agree. Like the real picture of that running back room won't be, I think, truly resolved until the fall. Once they start playing some real football and start gearing up for actual games. It's just one of those positions, kind of like offensive line, where it's just hard to evaluate truly until you're actually playing real football.
I still see some intensity, though. I mean, Gabe Ervin is there. He's there in a green jersey, helmet on.
He's not doing much, though.
Not doing much, but he's there. Ramir, Rule said, Sean, that Ramir probably could go full go.
Yeah, they're holding him back.
Yeah, they're holding him
He's
back.
a 6-year senior that's kind of – he's got some battle scars on him, and I don't think they want to push that at this point. They don't need to.
Now, I did lay eyes on Dowdell really, really up close for the first time today. Not as big as I thought he was. He's a little leaner in a good way, not a bad way. I mean, I don't like big, bulky eye backs. He's about perfect. But just it struck me that he's not. I thought he'd be more like a 225-pound guy.
Eddie George type.
Yeah, he's not like that. He's like he's legit 215. It looks like 6'2", 215. Carried a little bit. Looks powerful. But yeah, you're so right. You're just not going to know. I think it'll be Ervin in the end. I really do. I think Gabe Ervin in the end.
And Ramir. I mean, and can Dowdell slip in there? I mean,
yeah, that's the question.
If he's limited all spring, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, this was a big spring for him. It's unfortunate that he's having that setback because he was going to get a ton of reps.
The question, Rob, will be how long is the setback? Yeah. So he had missed a couple practices as of
Saturday. A hamstring.
It's a hamstring. I know.
Don't go away quickly.
When Rule said that, I thought probably the exact same thing you did, which is, this is a big spring for Quentin Ives, and now he's got a hamstring.
Yeah, he'll have to rely on other guys getting hurt to get opportunity at that point, because this is his opportunity when guys were not available,
right,
to show it. Right. Like Emmett Johnson last year, when guys got hurt, he showed what he could do. That's how he got himself up in this discussion.
Right, exactly. So we'll just have to, again, why did I ask the question out of the gate? What would you pay to see? How much would you pay to see the scrimmage on Saturday? And then the only way you can gauge a running game is to watch a live scrimmage with tackling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been over there enough times, and it drives me nuts when we're watching them play touch football, and the media corps over there, including myself, goes, "Oh man, that running back looks good." Yeah, he's not getting tackled. He looks great running through a hole. No arms on him. Perfect. The only way you learn is when they're going.
Do you remember when Scott Frost played an entire spring game like that one year?
Yes.
I looked at Robin and I just put my pencil down. I'm like,
did you?
Awful.
Like, how are we going to even cover this? Like,
all right.
I mean,
those are frustrating moments. Those are. Spring games can be really frustrating.
Oh yeah, that's why the running clock in the second half is clutch.
That's why Bo Pelini started coming out with cats to make it more interesting.
Yeah, linemen catching punts. Remember that?
A single cat.
Alabama, Nick Saban used to do.
He made 6 cats.
Nick Saban made media field punts at the spring game.
I would do that.
God,
I'd do it.
Yeah, I'd probably do
it. You could catch a punt.
Oh yeah,
I'd like to see some of the guys we work with try to field a live punt. It'd be interesting.
It's hard.
It's not easy.
It's hard. Those guys,
it hits you hard too.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys that do it. Bill Bush tells a story about, he coached special teams, and at the start of a season, he'll ask guys to raise their hand if they want to return kickoffs, and you get a bunch of them. Then when you ask to raise them to return punts, couple, maybe.
The crazy ones.
Yeah. The people don't want to do it. It's hard to do.
You got to have some nerves to be able to concentrate on a ball like that in a huge stadium under the lights sometimes, or in the sun with 10 dudes running full speed at you.
Was it on Hard Knocks one year where Pac-Man Jones?
Yeah, he got like 8 balls.
Like they had 8, and he held all 8 of them as they were coming in. He just kept catching them.
So he'd catch 2, and he'd be holding 2 footballs. And he'd
You're
catch
kidding me.
Pac-Man.
He could do that?
That was a good Hard Knocks year.
That's a serious
That was a great Hard Knocks.
That's a serious athlete. I mean, come on. That's amazing.
But
I think Pac-Man had kind of long arms, didn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he not tall, though?
No, he's a little guy.
I know, but I think he had pretty long arms for a little guy. Some of those little guys do have long arms.
Now, let's get into the receiver.
We really got off track.
As we're breaking down let's get into Hard Knocks the next season now and talk. Let's talk receivers briefly here.
Mm-hmm.
We know Banks is a guy, and I'll tell you, I think Jalen Lloyd.
Oh, no question.
Is really solidifying himself as a factor.
How many times did Raiola throw the ball at Jalen Lloyd in that drive that he was operating? I mean,
2 or 3 for sure, right?
Yeah, and including a big pass over the middle when they were backed up a little bit. So if Raiola is the guy, there's built-in chemistry already there.
Let's put it this way, Sean. On Saturday, Rule during his media appearance singled out one receiver. He said, "I'm not going to single out anybody." Then he singled out Jalen Lloyd.
Yeah. He was an impact guy last year, but you can kind of see it. He just looks stronger. Like he doesn't look like a little track guy out there anymore. He looks like a football player.
I'm going to throw one name out there too, Ja'Cory Barney.
Okay.
I have been told that he has been as impressive as any of the newcomers, and he's looked good early. Ja'Cory Barney, the freshman from Miami, and Isaiah Nayor really had a big day, at least on Tuesday. So they've completely flipped that room.
They did. They needed to, and they did.
Well,
now, they had those guys, though. Jaden Doss, Malachi Coleman, and Jalen Lloyd. They're good receivers.
And Bullock,
pretty good receivers. So they had something to build on, but they did flip it. You're right.
And I give real credit. They figured out ways to utilize the speed of Coleman and Lloyd in moments last year because they didn't have much. But they are like, let's maximize what we can with these guys and find plays. And they did. They found 3 or 4 big plays of those guys.
Monsters.
That mattered. Yep. But now they've got to get more. And that's where Banks, Nayor, maybe Ja'Cory Barney, some of these new players had to factor.
You look at the offense, and there's a lot of question marks at those skill positions. I mean, just because we don't know a lot about them. But the more I hear about that receiving core, the more I'm thinking that's going to be one of the strengths of that entire offense. I mean, I think just the number of weapons they have in that group. Now, they're all young, and they got a lot of guys that still need to prove it. Well, a lot of them are young.
Yeah, because they got Banks.
But I think you add that core young group of receivers that a lot of people are excited about.
And Demetrius Bell, too.
Demetrius Bell. With the veterans they brought in and returned, I think just the sheer number and overall volume of talent in that room is going to make that a real asset as opposed to a question mark.
Was Bell hurt, Robin?
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, and I tried to lay
nothing serious though.
Yeah, number 11 wasn't out there.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Banks is a proven weapon. I mean, he's had 59 catches last year. He's going to start, right? It'd almost be a shocker if he doesn't. At 59 catches last year at Wake Forest, 62 the year before at Wake Forest. Nayor is still a bit of a question mark because he was healthy last year at Texas and didn't play. I mean, now that was a great receiving core. After that, I think if I was going to name the top 3 right now, I'd go Banks, Nayor, and Lloyd. I mean, it seems like those are the guys with the most momentum.